Goldylocks Productions provides professional internet, TV, and radio shows in the spiritual and New Age genre.
Hi, everybody. Anthony Rodriguez here, Walking Crow for the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. How's everybody doing today? Man, oh man, welcome to Pisces. Here we come, Neptune. We are now in Pisces. Today's the 20th of February, Taco Tuesday, and let's get this show rolling. Boy, I'm really glad everybody's back. I hope everybody had a great week, and I want to welcome you to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with myself, Anthony J. Rodriguez, and later I'll be bringing on my guest, my very special guest, Jennifer Escalera. She's a energy therapist and an amazing woman. She has an amazing practice, and I can't wait to introduce her to you. Aho, 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 aho. But before we do anything, I am going to light a little sage, a little of the local organic sage. This doesn't come from a farm. This comes from my local mountains and canyons, and I harvest it myself. And I am going to light it, and I am going to clear the room, take a little into my lungs, and I'm going to allow the smoke to permeate my palms of my hands, because that is also fifth chakra. And I'm going to ask Creator Great Spirit that I would be clear, I would be a clear channel, and I would be led to a clear channel, and that Jennifer would be clear, and my producer, Tiffany White Sage Woman, the Reverend, would be clear, and all the computers and mechanics and electronics that go into producing and allowing the show to go out would be clear, and we would be an open and clear channel with a beautiful and clear message. Aho, shino, aho, shit. All right, everybody. I'm really excited. Our upcoming guest, Jennifer, I can't wait till we get going with her, because there's a lot to talk about. Her and I are going to be doing an event on Thursday at Lib and Mo's in Pasadena, knowing your divine, your inner divinity, and what that means to you, and how that comes across, and how you can use your inner divinity within relationships, and how you can build on relationships, not just with others, but with yourself and others. So that's the 22nd of February at Lib and Mo's. It's $40 a person. If you come as a couple, it's $60, so you can save yourself $20. So, I don't know if Jennifer's cool with this, but I'm going to say this, bring a girlfriend, bring a boyfriend, guys, bring a friend, women, bring a girlfriend, bring your husband, bring your boyfriend, bring whatever it is, bring another partner, and save yourself $20, so you don't have to pay the $60. So we're looking forward to having you there at Lib and Mo's in Pasadena, and you can go to the Eventbrite page. You can find that on my calendar on Facebook, and you can sign up for that and get your seat early. All right. But now, right now that I'm talking about the calendar, I want to remind you that every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with Anthony J. Rodriguez, me, Walking Crow, comes your way. And you can listen to it around the world, and you can listen to it on Blog Talk Radio, on Spreaker. You can listen to it on iHeartRadio. You can go into the Goldylocks Productions site on YouTube, and you can watch the show, or you can go onto my page, Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine, and watch the show within minutes and hours sometimes of the show, because sometimes Tiffany is really fast with that stuff. So, and sometimes it's a day, but if you're willing to be patient, you can do that if you miss it live. Okay, so, and also this Thursday, I won't be doing the shamanic drumming, because I'm going to be with Jennifer Escalera at Lib and Mo's in Pasadena, and we're going to be at that event. So maybe I'll choose another, maybe I'll do it on Friday, or maybe I'll do it on Wednesday night or something, but we will not be doing it on Thursday. And I apologize for anybody that met me this week and I told you that it was going to be on Thursday. But next Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, shamanic drumming with me, Walking Crow, and come into the place of the fire. Go to the lower world, go to the middle world, go to the upper world. Where is it? Well, you'll start your journey. Who will you talk to? Who will you meet? Will you meet your spirit guides? Will you be able to talk to your spirit animal? Has your spirit animal changed, your power animal? Aho. So join me on Thursday at 8 p.m. Aho. Okay, so the last announcement I'm going to make is for, two announcements. March 3rd, I am going to be at Orenda Rising in Ventura County, in Ventura at 2 p.m. And we are going to be I am going to be doing this side of consciousness. Whether you're on the conscious side of consciousness, the unside of consciousness, or in the middle, and you're not really sure where you fall between those two, come out and join us. It's $40 for the workshop. It's 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Orenda Rising is a relatively new studio, and they are. I had my first event there last Saturday night, and it was a shamanic drumming. It's a small studio for 10 people, and we had 9 people last week, and it was amazing turnout. And we just had such a great time. So come out and join us on the 3rd at 2 p.m. $40. You can find that on Eventbrite, or you can go to my calendar on the Facebook, and you can find that and pay for it and join us on the 3rd of March. And then last but not least, and not to be outdone, so if you don't have one of these, and I happen to know that Jennifer Escalera has one of these shamanic drums that her and I made together, on the 24th, you can join me and others for only $160. It's a 2-day workshop, 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon, and then 2 hours on a Sunday morning. We will be getting together and setting intentions for the frame, setting intentions for the skin, putting skins to soak, and doing ceremony. I'll walk you through the ceremony that I do when I make drums, when I harvest sage, when I do just about anything, I do about the same ceremony. So you will learn how to do that in ceremony. We'll put the skins to soak on the 24th, and Sunday morning we'll come back at 10 a.m. We're going to take those drums and those frames, and you can write your intentions on the drum frame if you want, where it'll be hidden underneath the skin, and you'll be able to stretch your skins over your drum in ceremony, aho, by offering tobacco, sage, and prayer, and you'll be able to create a 10 or 12-inch drum for only $160. This is a 14-inch drum, and a drum like this costs anywhere from $350 to $400, and this is one that I made, and it's elk skin. We will be using elk skin because deer skin is a little bit, I know that you'll complain about it, even though it's something you really want, so we're going to be using elk. All right, so $160. The location will be given once you pay for the workshop. The location will be given, and we're going to limit that to 10 people. So that's all we're going to do, 10 people. All right. So let's move on into the show. And one of the things I'm going to do right now, which is something I've been doing for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I pulled a chakra card, a card this morning, and I'm going to do a quick reading. And one of the things I'm going to tell you is I'm not going to pull three or four cards today. I'm only going to pull one. There's enough information with one card to give you what it is that you need, the message that you need to hear, and that I need to give, that the Creator, Great Spirit, or a Spirit is offering for today. And today's card is it's a 5th chakra card, and it's bittersweet. And I want to remind you that bittersweet, don't feed that block. Don't hold the energy in your 5th chakra and not speak. Honor yourself, honor spirit, honor your soul, and speak your voice, because it's when we speak our voice and release the block that we carry, we are able to move forward. We are able to empty the vessel and refill the vessel with good stuff. We're coming into springtime, so prepare yourself. Empty your vessel. Allow yourself to clap your hands and chi grade and let that go and write those things down. Say to the person that you need to say to, I love you. I care about you. You hurt my feelings. Why do you have to treat me that way? Say those things and unblock the block. Unblock the block. And be in the spirit and of who and what you are, and celebrate yourself. See the candles there? Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself by speaking who and what you are. Aho mitakiasi. Aho. All righty then. So they're going to move on into the rest of this show, and I want to I'm going to read Jennifer's bio. And Jennifer Escalera runs a soul-centered business in Pasadena. California, teaching women how to deepen their self-love, heal from childhood trauma, self-care, and create healthy relationships through the sound healing meditation, intuition, and crystal healing so they can feel confident and empowered every day. Her intuitive healing sessions are personalized and created organically. Wow, that's cool. She leads a global community in sacred sound meditations and as well as private sessions, community events, and baths and workshops. So let's bring Jennifer in. Hi, Jennifer. How are you doing, honey?
I'm good.
And I got to tell you, I have been to your sound baths, and you know what? It was like I had a 12-pack of beer. I mean, the intensity and the magic that you carry through sound bath and through what you do and through your energy and through spirit, through your channeling of what happens there.
Yes.
Doggy, it's amazing. The first time I went, I covered my eyes and I couldn't focus my eyes for probably an hour and a half. I don't know how I got home that day. It was that intense. And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
So how are you doing? Welcome to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show.
I'm so glad to be
I'm
here.
so blessed and happy to have you.
Thank you. Yes, I'm very excited to be here.
All right. So tell us a little about, I know what you do, but tell the audience a little about what it is that you do. I just read your bio, but I sometimes think that the bio doesn't really serve, it doesn't really, because you can say it better in your words, if, and besides,
sometimes I can say it better with my words, depending on how I'm feeling. Oh, and I see 111, so that's a good sign. So I'm always about synchronicities and signs. Cool. So the type of work that I do is intuitive. I work intuitively with people, and I listen into their body and the messages that their spirit or their soul helps me to channel. So I use my guides and my ancestors and helping me to understand a little bit more about helping someone heal holistically. So there is some psychological, emotional, sound and vibrational healing that all gets incorporated. And oftentimes what comes up are people's inner wounded child. And that's really part of the evolution of the work that I've done, is really helping people to explore what their inner child is still holding onto, or what's still interfering with their adult life and how that's impacting their relationships or their life purpose, just anything that's clouding them, anything that's blocking them. And so we navigate that, whether it's through doing some hypnosis techniques or trance kind of work. We explore on all kinds of levels of helping them to start talking to that part of their memory or that part of themselves that they really never gave. I create sacred space for them to be able to explore the more vulnerable, more sensitive parts of themselves. And once they can unlock that from them, or at least to see that part of themselves, you really do get to see their transformation face to face. I mean, I feel so privileged and I feel so lucky, because each time I'm working with someone, I experience the gratitude and the grace and the magic that happens. So I also go through some type of transformation with them. I go on a journey with them. And so I try to tell them every time, if I'm not already wrapped up in the excitement, but I really give a lot of gratitude in each session, just thanking them so much for trusting me and giving me that opportunity to help them venture.
There's such a healing in healing, in helping others to heal, because it isn't a one-way street. It's a two-way street. And that's the one thing that I really came into once I started down the road of when I was getting my training. I understood that very early on, and I was like, I got excited. I didn't walk, I ran. Even though I tripped a couple of times, I made the mad dash to do this work and to open myself up, whatever that looked like. And boy, did I open myself up, because you talk about healing the child. That's been my work for the last almost 7 years. And I've come full circle with healing in 3 particular instances where I already know that I won't be coming back to do that work in another lifetime, if I have to come back at all. And for me, that's an amazing thing. And I don't know very many people get to say that. You know?
Yeah.
But I know people like you and myself who help others cross over, transform, transition, transcend, transmute. You know, and from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. From a seemingly, that's the quote, seemingly state of mind and body. Yeah.
It's a very humbling experience.
Now you have, oh yeah, yeah. I am often brought to tears by my experience with others. It's just because it's about being in the body for me, not here, I don't think about them. I feel about them. You know, I have feelings for them. I have feelings of them and feelings to them. And for me, that's been my biggest statement. I'll say it that way, of course.
Yeah.
I'll say it that way. It's my biggest statement. But you have, which when you and I met a year ago.
Yes.
And I don't remember how we met. I know you reached out to me and about Bad Boy, and I don't remember exactly what it is. Tell me about the group that you work with. Say that again.
It was a program called Bad Boy Detox.
Bad Boy Detox, yeah. Yes. And tell us about Bad Boy Detox. And tell us about it, because we're going to be talking about the inner divinity. We're going to be talking about the inner divinity. And I think that inner divinity is really important in that aspect of life with regard to relationships.
So Bad Boy Detox is basically my personal journey with bad boys, with unhealthy guys and unhealthy relationships that I pretty much had most of my life. And it wasn't until finally my last breakup that ended traumatically for me that I had realized, oh, here I am once again. And at that point, this was in 2008. I had just gotten my license as a clinical social worker, and just the light bulb came on. It was just like, okay, I'm 33. I just got licensed and I'm still messing around with these kind of guys like this. It just didn't make sense. And so I had to really do a lot of soul searching and healing and getting to the root of why I kept attracting these kinds of guys. And it wasn't until then that I got my answers. I got my healing. I took responsibility for the choices I was making. It wasn't fair to me or my future self, who I see, 10 years later. It wasn't fair to these parts of me to keep victimizing myself or to keep blaming certain things in my childhood, or just because of the way I felt about myself. I had to grow up. I had to emotionally mature and take responsibility. So once I got a grasp of that, and then really connecting more intuitively, getting my spirituality even stronger, getting clarity around the divine feminine energy, it just like all opened up. My love life, just my career. I started my practice. And really from then it's been a journey. Now I'm a mom, I'm in a great, healthy relationship. So sometimes we just have to have those rock bottoms. And I see that my relationship, that situation was my rock bottom, but the beauty that has come out of it, the fruition or the transformation that came out of it was this program. So I take these women through the journey of, why are they still stuck? What is still getting them involved with these unhealthy guys? And so the work is really about going deep within themselves. So there's guided meditations that they can help to heal holistically. And then there's a guidebook that really helps to get a lot of clarity into their self-worth and their self-love and confidence and all the good stuff that maybe you don't just learn from, maybe from your peers or your friends or your family. So this is also like a sacred avenue for you to get real with yourself. Yeah. So it's fun.
You know, I did a lot of that. I did a lot of that same work, and you know, being conscious or enlightened is not a picnic.
No.
When you have to do that shadow work, it's you know, oh my God, it's nonstop. But if you're willing to look at it and be okay with it and not stop doing this, the finger of blame, you know, just, you know, and even blaming self. We don't have the capacity until we have the capacity, you know, oh, well, you know, and hello human, you know, but how do you, oh, and by the way, Sarah said hello. Sarah is one of our listeners. She says hello. How do you, the human condition is the human condition, because we're conditioned by the media. We're conditioned by experiences growing up, traumas, hurts, wounds, shames, you name it, retribution. And in sobriety, when I'm talking to people who come from sobriety, there's a lot of this, and I always say, you're going to yeah, but yourself to death. Stop. You're going to yeah, but yourself to death. And I have to get really stern with people while loving them at the same time. How do you, when you're working with women, say to them, listen, take risk. You have, because you know they're going to find an excuse. They're throwing out a million excuses at you, and you're going, okay, well, wait till theirs runs out of energy or something. How do you deal with it? How do you work with women like that who just are playing dodgeball with it? You know.
Right. Well, you know, it's taken. Yeah, I would say it's taken some time to get to the skill of it, but I mean, I'm just real direct. You know, why let them manipulate me or just keep using the excuses? I mean, you're paying me to help you, so why would I do that to you? So I'm thinking about what I can see in the potential of you, and sometimes you need kind of like that tough love. I'm a very empathetic person, but I can also see through the BS. So I will call people out and they end up thanking me for it. And then the ones that don't appreciate the truth, then I don't see them again. But I think those that stick around, the ones that I still continue to help and work with, I think they appreciate the honesty. And it kind of wakes them up like, oh yeah, I do need to take responsibility. And then they start asking, well, how do I do that? What does that look like? You know? And then also I started out working with teenagers. So when I've had years of training of working with oppositional defiant teens. So that also gave me some skills of how to work around that kind of stuff.
Oof.
Yeah, good question.
Gives you a foundation, huh?
Yeah.
I imagine that working with adults and dealing with an adult, imagine dealing with the yeah buts of adult is much easier to deal with than the yeah buts of a 13-year-old who are they're relentless, or 16-year-old or 17-year-old, or
It is a lot easier.
I want to remind everybody that you're listening to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with myself, Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and Jennifer Escalera, energy therapist. So I also want to remind the audience to share and like, share this show with people while you're watching it. You can do that. It's a live stream and they can watch it as well. So Jennifer, do you work with men with regards to the bad boy, the bad boys? I mean,
yeah,
I imagine that they're much more resistant. Because they're not usually the ones with a broken heart.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
It is fair, but in my personal experience, I haven't had that. Usually the guys that I work with they have that element of sensitivity. So they are in pain, and we are able to get down into the dirty work of what happened and how to heal and how to find forgiveness, and just to start tracking what led them to this situation or what gets them into these repeated situations. And for those that continue to make excuses or they're inconsistent with the work that they're doing, then, you know, at some point I address it and I ask them how committed are they, or whether they need to move forward or find someone else, because I'm here to do the work with them. So, and that goes for my female clients as well. But in my experience, no, I mean, they actually are like, well, are you going to make this bad boy detox for guys too? And I'm like, I didn't even think of that, you know, because it was my personal experience. But I can still apply some of the teachings that came through it for them. And I would say that there is some closed off, even though that they are in pain and they're dealing with their wounds. Now that I'm thinking about what you said, there is kind of the pushback of being able to talk about their deep wounds, you know. So I would say that that's what I see as the difference between men and women, is that the guys, it does take a little bit more of a, you know, let's get the information out.
Fishing.
Yeah.
Pulling I like to call it pulling the thread of the sweater, unraveling the sweater, you know.
Exactly.
And it's like that when people find me, whether I'm in my office or at a workshop or at the store, when they come in and they're standing in the aisle and I'm looking at them and I'm like, I ask their permission to read them because they're there looking for something to help them with a problem. I work in the vitamin section. So they think all these things in this place can help them. And a lot of times they can't. There's other things that can help them. And if they're willing to listen, and this was a case yesterday, a young man came in with his mother. I mean, he's a young man. He's a firefighter. He was having trouble sleeping. And I started asking him questions. And his mother realized, and I said, do you mind if I read you? Are you okay? And his mother realized what was happening. She says, I'm going to go. I'll be back later. And she left, and she instantly understood what was happening. So I asked him some questions, and when I would ask him the first question, he did this. Just held the energy and went, I'm like, no, you have to say yes. Please say yes. Please open your mouth. And you know, I get a lot of, I don't remember nothing, you know, nothing's going on. And then I dig a little deeper. I scratch the surface a little bit more, and they start to reveal more stuff. And that's always the case. That's just the way it is. And it's not that they don't want to disclose anything. The blocks are the blocks. And we have to help them sift through the blocks. And I love that. I love that part of my work, sifting through the blocks, because I can't say it. I even though I know what it is, I cannot say it. I will not say it for them. They're going to have to tell me, because that's the work, you know, unleashing that for themselves. But and saying that, the level of work that I've done, and I'm sure the level of work that you've done, has brought us to a particular place with regard to the divinity within. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today. And we'll be talking about that more on Thursday at the workshop. The divinity within. And I want to ask you, when was it when you realized, or when you came to this place where you realized, wait a minute, there's more happening here than the physicality or the psychology of helping people? When did it become a deeper soul work for you, if you will?
Well, there's always been an element of soul work. I've always had a connection to God or spirit as a child. But I came in the psychology through mental health. But it wasn't until after having my son that becoming the role of mother, to be responsible, to be the teacher, to be the leader, I just had this awakening again, another soul transformation of my purpose. So that's when I really started digging in more. And that's when I created Bad Boy Detox. So there's just been an ongoing evolution of the divine, and my roots of Catholicism has given me some of the teachings and practices that I'll still apply in the work that I do or in the day-to-day meditations that I do. But becoming a mom, I mean, that like really changed my perception of my purpose and working with spirit, with the divine. I feel very light right now. I feel like
I'm going. Are you a practitioner of any sort of spiritual calling?
Oh gosh.
Of course you. This is that's a Reverend Tiffany Sage Woman's her juju on us.
Oh, I know. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so airy right now.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It gets really the energy that flows through the passageways of the portals that we're working in can be pretty intense sometimes. And Sarah, who said hello, she always lets me know that that's happening with her, and it's wonderful to know that, because it means that you're working, I'm working, Tiffany's working, everybody's working, and the people who are listening are working. Yeah. Wow. And I'm starting to feel that in my body. I just started like shimmering. I'll call it shimmering. I just went blank on the question I was asking.
I know. I'm like, I don't know where I went.
Do you have any sort of spiritual or
Go ahead.
It's okay. Do you have any spiritual or religious practice that you can that you connect to? And I know a lot of us are brought up in religion, and some of us are not. But do you make that a part of the whole of who you are, and or have you found yourself seeking out different things for that purpose?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't practice any type of religion. And so I was brought up Catholic. And so the tools that I take from Catholicism is prayer and meditation, or they're simultaneously for me, are interchangeable for me. Angels and, burning candles and those kinds of things. So the practices that I use are working with my angels and my guides. So one of my guides is my maternal grandmother. I've never met her in this physical form, but I know that she comes to me, and I have a little altar for her. And, oh my goodness, I'm getting emotional. So I know that she guides me a lot.
Oh
my goodness, I was not expecting that.
It's okay.
Ooh, goodness. I also work a lot with Mother Mary, and she gives me a lot of wisdom and compassion and patience to be able to do the work that I do. In one of my meditations, I called in Shamuel, and I had never heard of this angel before. And I did automatic writing. So he is an angel to help with self-love and just finding that compassionate place. And so I use him for people who are dealing with breakups or heartbreaks. And that's when he came to me. So I work with him and Archangel Michael, Gabriel, and just working with my crystals, working with sound. So I'm a practitioner of vibrational medicine, and just hearing what my guides have to show me, using light energy as my practice. And just the different elements, Mother Earth and fire, water, air. Fire, water, air, earth, yeah. Wow. So, I got so emotional. I don't know what happened, but that was real, people. So, and that's a huge transformation, because I wasn't raised in my family. We don't show a lot of emotions. So, or at least the females in my family, we don't show a lot of emotions. So for me right now to even show that publicly, that's a huge transformation. And I hope that that helps people to see, like, you don't always have to be blocked. Like, you can actually be vulnerable and still feel good. Like, I'm all good.
Yeah.
Aww.
Now, I noticed that started to happen when you started. Did you see that? Austin's watching. Austin's waving at us. Sarah's little boy. He's 2 years old. He's watching us and waving at us. That started to come as soon as you started to speak to your angels and those things, those higher level spiritual beings, the teachers, the ancestors, the ascended masters. As soon as you started to speak to that started to happen. I don't understand. I don't know if people understand when we start to call in what we call in, when we start to speak it, that's the importance. That's the importance of this card today. That's exactly what happened there. We get to experience a nurturing love. And yes, it comes in tears, but when you live a life of not experience a lot of your emotion, a lot of times we go up here with it into the goo of it. When we're able to come into the ru of it, that's exactly what happens. That's exactly what I want people to experience when I start working with them, to be in their emotion of their hurts and their wounds and their shames and their traumas, and even of their happiness and the good of the good. This morning, Tiffany sent me a message and she says, "How are you?" I said, "I'm happy." And I noticed in the last week, I've been saying that to people. I have never said that in my life. You know the standard answer is, "Well, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm okay." Yeah. And I'm happy. Woo. And I'm going, everybody knows that this week it's been a rough week for me because of my family situation, but I'm happy. I'm happy for me. I'm happy for her. I'm happy for the family. I'm happy. I'm happy because I can be and I will. Why not? You know? Yeah. So to watch you go through that and watch you step into your inner divinity, and that's what I'm going to call your inner divinity on the spot, and to have Sarah watch you and Austin's watching you and he's waving at us and how old's your little boy?
He's 2.5.
There you go.
Yep.
You know, Sarah, you're mirroring for Sarah. People never know when the medicine is going to come, when it shows up. We never know. And, this morning I was walking in from taking my niece to school. And as I was walking through the garden here at my mom's house, spirit came right through my left ear. And just like, beep. And I was like, okay, I need to listen. I need to pay attention. What is it I need to listen to? And it's exactly what you're saying right now. And who shows up but Sarah? Okay. With her 2-year-old little boy, Right. And the words come when the words come, and they don't necessarily always come from me. They don't necessarily always come from you, but there they are.
Yeah. I just want to also
spoke through you right there.
I want to make a correction. My grandmother is letting me know. I think I said maternal grandmother. I mean paternal, my dad's mom. So she wants it to be clear that I work with my paternal grandmother. So.
Yeah. I work with my maternal grandmother, so which is interesting because we didn't get along when she was alive. She's always over here. She's always to the right. Or wait, that looks like left, but right. So, wow, man, that was just a powerful moment. I love being able to share that that you were able to share that and allow yourself to go through that, because sometimes we fight that. And fighting it is the wrong thing to do. I learned. I learned that I just have to cry when it comes, just to let it go. And who taught me that was Audrey. Insights with Audrey. She said, "Let it go." We were working together. We were trading services, and she said, "Just let it go. Just let it go." And I was like, "Okay." Now I'm a sobbing, blubbering guy.
I know.
Which, you know what? Which is what we want from our men. I think women are it's always, men always say that women are too sensitive, that you're too this and that. But if men were able to do half of what women do with their emotion, what a different world, what a different relationships we'd had. We would drink a lot less alcohol. We would smoke a lot less pot. We would take a lot fewer drugs. There would be so much less anger. And we wouldn't have to worry about, well, I'm not going to talk to her about this because, you know, we wouldn't have to worry about shame and retribution and hurt and our wound. We would just be able to say what's necessary to say. You know, you hurt my feelings, baby. I'm, you know, plain and simple. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. See, and we don't have conversations like that in the regular world. In a healing world like you live in and like I live in, yes. But for most of society, it doesn't happen. They don't know how to tap into that little bit of divinity that just says, say it. Just whispers, say it. Say it.
Right.
Say it.
Right.
You know, so,
Right.
And
well, one of the medicines I
just
get,
that little moment of that you had there was.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Oh, one of the medicines I feel like that my boyfriend has given to me, and we've been together now, I think it'll be 9 years, or it is 9 years. And he's the one who is more vocal in his feelings and communication. So I've learned from him how to be more emotionally expressive and being able to say I love you and so easily, you know, even to his family. You know, it took a while for me to say that, you know. So I think just even in my experience of connecting with the divine and the divine feminine, I still was having some of those unconscious resistance of being that vulnerable to just tell people that I love them. That I make it a practice. I really want to share how much I care for people and to not be threatened by those words, because that's the purpose of what I do. I help people to find their own self-love. So why would I be afraid of expressing love?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I don't know about you, but I grew up, well, I think you did too. I grew up in a Mexican household, and
Yes.
I don't know if I ever heard my father say, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know if I really ever heard my mother say it and actually mean it or say it out of duty. Do you know what I mean by duty?
Yeah.
And I always
Right.
believe that duty is no reason to do anything. You know,
Right.
do and say the things that you're going to do and say because it's what you feel, it's what you want to do. And I'm going to make this statement, and you tell me how it resonates with you, because I know that, well, you know, I don't know how much alike we grew up in our separate households, but I'm going to say this, and I've said this before on the show. I am not a product of love.
Mm.
I am not a product of love. I am a product of desperation. I believe that I'm a product of desperation. That's not saying that I'm not loved, and I'm not love, and I don't offer love. It's just I understand where I came from with regard to my parents. My father was an alcoholic. My mother was the enabler. They were both running from something, and they ran from something to each other with those wounds. And I believe that I'm a result of that, of desperation. And it's not to say that my father didn't love me or didn't know how, or my mother didn't love me or didn't know how, but I really want to be clear on how we come from places and we don't understand the lineage and the history of where we come from and how that lands in our souls, in our bodies. And if we're able to see it, if we're able to look through the looking glass of here and see it and speak it and taste it and hear it and feel it, we're able to transform our lives. I really feel that. And I don't know how you feel about that statement. Do you have a thought on that?
I do. And my dad might be watching, so I don't want to put him on the spot or anything. But yeah, I mean, my parents were both very hardworking, very dedicated to the community and being involved in community work. So I understand now as the adult that the way that we were raised, same thing, you know, love wasn't expressed verbally until, you know, I was an adult. But I've forgiven them for those things, and you know, it's their own journey still. I think that they are going through, that they still have to forgive themselves, or maybe there's different layers. And so that's what also gets manifested in the work that I do, is that we talk about generational traumas or generational belief systems that get caught up in their own DNA, that there is something about their DNA that they don't have any control over. So if their mom comes in with certain belief systems or certain traumas, they are also part of that DNA. So it's helping them to heal on a cellular level, on a deeper level, not only just emotionally or psychologically or physically, where we also go deep into that memory. And sometimes we speak to that memory. So to revert that to my personal experience, I've had to do those works myself. And I think because I had to go through what I went through, I'm able to lead now in helping other women and men on that same journey.
Yeah.
But I think through some of the I think a lot of the suffering is what manifested also into the divine energy that I work with. You know, it's that rock bottom of, oh, I feel so bad, like someone help me. And then being able to trust spiritually, I think was also the transformation and what built my strength to work with the divine.
Yeah. Understanding that divinity, the divinity within, and not just the divinity, because divinity is in my view, and I don't know how you feel about this. I always say, this is my left hand. This is the hand of divine feminine. This is the hand of receiving. This is my right hand. This is the hand of divine masculine. It's the hand of giving. It's the hand that moves forward. It gives the divine feminine, and they're not separate. These are one. And I live in the duality. I say, when I take these hands and I come into my bring my duality into the alignment of who and what I truly am, the vibration is incredible. I become she man, Sha man.
Yeah.
And people look at me like what? Like, are you calling me a shaman? Yes, I am calling you that. I'm calling you she man, Sha man. And there's nothing shameful about it. You know, people we hide that part of ourselves, or we're abused because of that part of ourselves, or we go through trauma and we suffer. You use the word suffer. I jokingly tell people I'm no longer Buddhist, and they're like, "What do you mean you're no longer Buddhist?" I said, "Yeah, I no longer suffer. I don't suffer anymore." "Well, you're not Buddhist." I said, "I know." But I no longer suffer anymore. You know, I take, you know, because you always hear about the suffering of Buddha, you know, like about the suffering of one soul. And I know that I don't have to do that. I can choose to do that.
You could choose.
I can choose to suffer. But with all the information that I have, why would I do that?
Right.
Uncle, you know,
right.
With my uncle, I give up. No, I don't have to do that. I don't want to do that. And I choose a better path. And and it isn't always easy because they're watching, and who's there? Our families, our parents, our brothers, our sisters, and who do you think? You know, there's a rhetoric that comes along with it. Well, who do you think you are? What, do you think you're better than us? You know, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard it. Yeah, right. And, you know, and I hear that from healer after healer, after shaman, after medicine person, after healer, and it's like, yeah, I know. This is why we come into community, because we support each other. You and I found instant community. I mean, we sat down at Earth Cafe and it was like bang. You know?
Yes.
We were there an hour, 2 hours. So and it makes me happy that we are able to we can drown that out by just listening to somebody, I can drum that out by listening to somebody like you who has something to offer me and says, yeah, Anthony, me too. The Me Too experience.
Right.
That is, if I could package that like a candy bar and sell, I'd be a rich man.
Right.
with nuts.
Right. Get it a little nutty.
We're coming into the latter part of the show, the last 10 minutes of the show. And
Oh,
I want to
wow.
ask
Ready?
you,
Wow.
right?
This is going fast.
I read my calendar of where I'm going to be, and part of that I started it with what we're going to be doing on Thursday. But I want to tell the audience or listening audience where you're going to be over the next few weeks, and what you're going to be doing, and how they can find you.
Oh, okay. Well, I have 2 sound baths tomorrow at Lid and Mo's in Pasadena. It's a beautiful photography studio. Shout out to Lid and Mo. The afternoon one is actually sold out. So if you aren't already going, I have an evening one at 7:00, and I have a coupon right now. It's a buy one, get one free. And there's my website there. So if you go there under events, you'll be able to see how to register for my sound bath tomorrow evening. And I have sound baths once a month, the 3rd Wednesday of the month there at Lid and Mo's. And Thursday, that's when we are doing our workshop. And that's how to connect with our divine self-love. And I'm super excited about that. I can't wait. So I know that that's going to be fun. There's still some space. So if there's people interested, you don't have to be in a relationship to attend. It's really about the calling within, working with your own divine feminine and own masculine energy, and how that works out within yourself and in your relationships. So all are welcome.
Yeah.
Anthony's amazing, and it's just going to be a very beautiful transformational evening. And that's at 7:00 on Thursday, the 22nd at Lid and Mo's as well.
Yay! Lid and Mo's. By the way, if anybody has ever not been there, that's just a beautiful studio in the heart of Old Town Pasadena. Wait, is it in Old Town or is it in the theater district? It's in the
It's in the Playhouse District.
Playhouse District, yeah. Right across from the Ice House, as a matter of fact.
Correct.
So come out and join us. So I like to talk about this, and I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Your morning practices. I know you have a little boy, so morning practices are questionable based on who wakes up first.
Yes. Yeah.
And do you have a set practice in the morning or daily that you do, that you offer to yourself and you offer to Creator, Great Spirit, or the universe? I'll say it that way. That you do that brings you to center. Yeah, it centers you.
Yes, absolutely. That is every day. So what I do every day, if I don't do anything else, it's when I'm brushing my teeth or putting on my my cream, my face cream, and I'm just doing a little meditation or a mantra or something that helps me to connect and being grateful, saying a little prayer, being in gratitude. And that just takes a couple minutes. So that's an easy, quick one. And then pretty much throughout the day. So if I have big spaces in between clients, I'll do something here in my office, and I'll either do a silent meditation, or I'll use my bowls. I'll do some type of sound healing or work with my crystals, or both, and just do a quick 5-minute meditation. Sometimes a half an hour, but I don't always have that. Or I just want to do like a quick little meditation. So mine are usually pretty quick.
Yeah.
But throughout the day. And then before clients, I always do some type of prayer or blessing, some type of protection as well for myself to ground. Yeah. But I'm constantly talking to God or spirit, the universe, when I'm driving. When I go pick up my son, it's like, okay, let me, help me to have patience when I go get him, because he can be really rambunctious. He gets really wild when I go pick him up and he starts having these tantrums. So it's like, okay, let me just relax and calm down. Give me the strength, give me the guidance. I even pray for him to be calm and relaxed. So sending him positive love and energy. So, oh, Emma says she's listening and loving on you too. Oh, love you too.
Right. I love you, Emma. Emma's been on this show as well. She was one of my guests when I started doing. I think she was my first guest. Oh, why wouldn't she be? She was my teacher. So Emma and Molina Enriquez, the amazing Reverend, another Reverend. And I made mention of that earlier before the show started, because I am an ordained minister. I've had my certificate and I haven't used it, and I haven't put those three initials in front of my name. And Tiffany, Reverend Tiffany, White Sage Woman, says, "You need to. It's time." She always tells me it's time, and she's actually really encouraged me to do this with the card readings and stuff. And I don't know what it sounds like or how it comes across, but why not? Why not step into all the power that's given to us and all the work that we're able to do, and to bring people together, whether it's being a death doula, helping somebody cross over, whether it's bringing two people together in marriage, whatever that's like. I've got Emma does that, and Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman does that, and I'm about to step into that for myself too. So I'm going to start putting the REV right in front of my name. So anyways, where are we? So we have 4 minutes. So what would you let me ask you this? What would you like to the audience to walk away with regard to your message and what you want to offer? I want to say the world. I'm hearing the world, but because I feel like what we do does offer the world help and healing.
Just tune into your inner spirit, into your inner guidance, and be patient, because it doesn't come as quickly as you may want it to, whether you are a beginner or a seasoned person. So finding even in that practice of what our spirit guides show us, that we have to practice patience and compassion. But I think that's the medicine for anger, is finding your inner peace so that you can be tolerant and forgiving and understanding. I think the wiser you could be around understanding and clarity around what you're experiencing or what you perceive, I think that is a beautiful way for you to tap into your grace and your humility. Yay.
That was beautiful.
I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, right. So I want to remind everybody, I want to thank everybody for coming. And Jennifer, thank you for being my gracious host today, my gracious guest today, and host, because you know what, when you and I host each other, it's an ebb and flow. So it's not, I don't own anything. So, there's that. Yeah. And, I want to remind everybody that, you can go to, watch this, or we'll give the Jennifer's website again. And I want to remind you that you can see Jennifer and I Thursday at Live in Mo's at 7 p.m. For your inner divinity, and finding your inner divinity. And it's $40. It's a 2-hour workshop. Come, and we're also going to be journeying. We're going to be taking a journey that night as well. So you'll be able to do that. And if you're a couple, it's $60. If you're single, it's $40. Is that right, Jennifer?
Yeah, that's correct.
But if you're a single and you're coming with a girlfriend, or you're coming with a guy friend, be a couple. Save a couple of bucks and come and join us and get it. Right. It's a discount. right?
It's a
We'll say it
discount.
that way. And,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a great group, and I'm looking forward to it. And Jennifer, I want to thank you again.
Oh,
And I
thank
want to
you,
remind
Anthony.
everybody, thank you so
Yes.
much. And thank the little one, because I know he's probably waiting for you someplace.
He's at the
And I want to
babysitter's
remind
tonight.
right? I want to
Yeah.
remind everybody you're listening to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine with myself, Anthony J. Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and my beautiful, beautiful, lovely guest, Jennifer Escalera. And I'd like to thank everybody. And Sarah Hussein, fantastic show. Thank you, Sarah. Say hello to Austin
Thank
for
you,
us.
Sarah.
And everybody back east, stay warm, stay well, and stay beautiful. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.